My big thing is that when I go to HEB, I hate seeing people that look at the seafood and you could tell that they're overwhelmed and they walk away, right? Because they don't have no idea how to cook it. They don't know what they're supposed to do. You know, and it sucks because a lot of people were raised either not knowing how to cook or they were raised like we only do it one way. What we have here are the scallops. These are the big boys right here. What you want to look for to see if they have their conductor muscle on here. What's right here? So if you look at it, there's this thing that's right here, and you gotta peel this guy off, right? Because he just becomes chewy. It's a little tab like that. Pull him on. All right, check the other dude. Nothing. The other guy. Oh, yes, right here. Okay. Now we want to do so much moisture. We want to dry these scallops. So we're gonna put them on these napkins, right? And we're just gonna try to take out as much moisture as we can now. There's so much moisture in the scallops that you gotta pat them dry in order to get that sear. If we don't, you know, what happens when you put something wet that's in a hot pan? It steams, right? So it's not gonna start to caramelize, you know, and that's what you wanna do. So like anything, man, steak, anything that you do, you wanna pat it dry before you do. And then this way, you know, you're ensured you're gonna get that crust that you're looking for. And that crust imparts flavor. And it's not gonna be crazy. We're not trying to like squeeze them to death or anything. You know, we're just trying to get whatever moisture we can out. See, and like I just tapped in, there's moisture on here. Okay, as we're talking, I have a pan that's gonna be hot. And make sure you season your scallops. Usually try to avoid black pepper, right? But that's just that's a chefy thing, because you want your seafood to look a certain color, right? Because if not, you add black pepper, you add black specks. That's all it comes down to. Because then they tell you to use white pepper, you know. But then white pepper smells like old Budweiser to me. So I'm always like, ugh. What we're gonna do is we're gonna make sure the pan's hot first before we put the scallops in there. So now that it's smoking, I know that it's hot. And now let's put our scallops on there. We're gonna add a little butter to it just to add a little fat. So what we're gonna do right now is that we're just letting it sear, and we're not gonna mess with it. We're not gonna move it. None of that good stuff. When you sit down scallops onto a hot pan, we leave it alone. We let it do its thing. You know, because what happens is that if it's still searing and you put your spatula underneath it to flip it, and if it's not ready, it's gonna tear all that part off. And that's what happens to a lot of people with any kind of protein. They tear and they're all like, stupid pan. But it's not stupid you. We have at our supermarket, might as well get, right? Just get a couple of them. You know, like I just bought 3 of them, you know, just so I could use. But you don't have to, you know, when we go to the supermarket, we feel like we gotta buy a lot of them when we don't, you know. So it's cool because, you know, you could go and you could tell them like, hey, all I want is just 1 or 2 pieces. Make it at home and figure out how you like it, you know. And this is the only way you can open, you know, your mind to, you know, the food that's out there. You know, your life's gonna get better, man, because you're all about food now. Scallops is one of those things where it's all about perfection and about, you know, beauty because of how pure they look when you get them. So we're checking out our scallops still. You know, what we're trying to do is just get a deep sear. The cool thing is that when you're cooking scallops, on the side of the scallop, you can see it's changing from like it's like white to opaque. So you can tell like the way what's going on. You know, I like to add a little butter to it though. This is just me, man. This is me being the chubby guy that I am. You know, I try to impart fat wherever I can. You know, and I think it's an easy way to impart it. I think it would have been cool too at the end if I had gotten the compound butter that we had made from one of our other videos and used that to do it, because then it would impart all that citrus flavor as well. What we're doing now is just searing it. We're searing it real hard and trying to form a crust on it, right? And remember, there's so much moisture that if we don't take care of that moisture first, it's gonna be real hard to get that crust on there. You know, that's what we look for. And that's whenever you look at, when you ever watch videos or magazines about people cooking scallops and they're all like white and you're all like, hey man, what happened? That's because they didn't cook it the right way. Okay guys, so now I'm gonna add more butter to our scallops, right? What, more butter? What about your cholesterol? Does it look like I care about my cholesterol? You know how many Lone Stars I drink a day? It's something like I get a lot of people that are always talking about, they want to do a romantic dinner for their loved one. And scallops is one of those romantic things. You know, scallops are one of those things where you can make it at your house and you can do it with whatever you want. And it's one of those things that's so versatile where you can have it with just Mexican rice and scallops and you'll be okay. Okay, so now we're gonna flip it, turn this guy off. And all we're gonna do is we're gonna baste them with butter. So have you ever seen the ones that we've done before with the steaks, and we're just getting the butter and doing our thing? That's exactly what we're doing now. The pan's hot, the pan's off. You know, all we're doing is using the heat from the pan itself to do its thing. They're delicious, especially when they're fresh. You know, when you buy them, when you buy them from someone that it's all about quality. You know, and all we're looking for is some color, because color adds flavor, right? Like, look at the color of my skin, golden brown, delicious. And so that's easy to make. You know, all we did is we just seared them, a hard sear, mounted with butter, and that was it. And now we got our scallops, right? One bad boy, two bad boys, three bad boys. And that's it right there, guys. And then with this, you can make a nice risotto for it. If you're into making a grain salad with this, even just like cooked arugula and scallops. Scallops are delicious just like that. And at the end, it's something beautiful, right? We always talk about, you know, when you look at food, you look with your eyes first, then you smell it, then you eat it. So all it was just, it was in a pan, and that was it.